Hi Engineering 1210 and other engineering students. Let's carry on with this tutorial about making outputs from your CAD model. You'll recall where we left off was with the birdhouse exploded view. Notice we've got so far in the drawing environment in the same file called uglybirdhouse.dft for drafting. You'll see that the bottom tab here shows sheet 1 that we made with an overall view showing a list of parts. I haven't added the rest of the parts there, but I will eventually. We've got this second sheet which has an exploded view, and I've added a couple of comments to that. And I was just going to add one more annotation before we move on. And these are just notes. So if you select the note tool, it comes up and I want to pick that screw and I'm going to write a note in here. Stainless screws, removable to drop for cleaning. There. I can make this a wrapped text if I like by selecting word wrap, and I get to pick from that how much I'm going to wrap it. Let's say I'm going to wrap it 100 millimeters, and you can see it changes the box size, and you can adjust all kinds of different parameters there. I'll leave that to you to explore some of those. So here I've got my exploded view, and in our list of the different drawings we'd like to make, the next thing to make would be the detailed views of each of the parts. So I'm just going to go to the sheet. Now, where was it that I added sheet? View layout. Forget these things. Add sheet, there it is, add sheet. And we went through this before, now it's saved, knows the format that I want for the sheet, so that's all good. And the first thing I'm going to do is get a three standard view. I'm going to open a document. I guess I'd better find a part. Sometimes SolidWorks defaults to the previous file format that you were looking at, but I want parts, and I want the base plate, that one. So there, it's given me 3 standard orthogonal views, and I can leave it as this if I like, and you'll see that they're linked. And so if I move one, I essentially move them all, and those are the connecting lines between them. Now, I can go to this view, and you'll see that there's some scales that are linked to the parent. And somewhere here we can choose to unlink them. I won't bother with that at the moment. But I would like to change the scale. I think that scale is a little too small, so I'm going to use 1:3. Oops, no, not 1:3. 1:1. Might be a little bit big for what I'd like, but I'll just leave that. So in this view, I can go and think about dimensions. Now this part's going to be 3D printed, so it's not really that important that I give dimensions, as in giving it to someone so they can manufacture it. But it is useful to give somebody enough dimensions that when the printed part is done, that they can check it to make sure that it fits. or if there's any unique faces or features that we want to show. So I'm going to Annotation and Smart Dimension, and now I can work here and I'll pick that dimension, just like you did in the sketch in making the model in the first place. And that's also another dimension there. And maybe I'll give that dimension. And I can move the location of the actual number anywhere I like. Now it's pretty typical to try and avoid having numbers inside the boundary of the part itself. It just keeps it clear this way. So putting the dimensional leaders outside really helps. Here we might have a note. I'm going to put a note there, and I'm going to say that is for M2 screw 12 millimeters deep. I'm going to make it a little bit deeper than the screw that I'm ordering, because that way I don't mess up the hole. There. I can also put in other dimensions, and there's a whole level of skill required for knowing what dimensions are enough and what are too many. Oh, forgot. Turn back my smart dimension here. And notice that I'm not putting this dimension, even though I put 24 and 12. In fact, if I try to do that, smart dimension, I give this and this, it should give me an error. I guess it doesn't in this. If I were making this in actually making the part, it would give me an error telling me I'm over constraining these dimensions. Now there's one thing that isn't clear in this drawing, and that's that I've got this kind of cutaway inside the part. So I might like to make another drawing view. So I can go back to the view layout, and I can pick an auxiliary view. And I think what I want is a section view. And so for this, I can pick a section through, I guess I'll go through here. And you can see what it's showing me now is a section cut through this part at this section line. I think I can move those letters up a little bit. No. Showing me that section line, and it shows that this part is cut away. I can choose different cross-hatching, I can choose various things, and I can, just like the other views, I can put in some dimensions here. So I can see that that thickness is 9.5, that thickness to there is 4, that thickness to there is 15. Now maybe I can think, well, I'd really rather have that section view through the hole. And if I do that, I should see that hole reflected in the part, and I do. So I just moved it and updated. And then I could give some dimensions showing that, showing that this hole doesn't go all the way through. But essentially, what I'm not doing in this environment is I'm not redesigning the part. I'm actually simply reporting on what the part looks like. And depending on how complicated your part is, you can add more and more and more sections. Now, the last thing I'll do here is, I guess I'll add some text. Oh, nope, nope. Nope, that's not what I want. I want to add, I guess I'll just add a note there. And the note that I want to add will be the title. This is the bottom plate. There. And the other drawings in the rest of the parts will be the same. You don't need drawings for the screws. Those are simply parts you'll order. But anything that you're going to have manufactured, you need to show some details for it. You can add a lot of other features to this drawing. You could add titles for the individual view. There must be a feature for that. You can import annotations and things that were in your CAD model and put them in directly. There's all kinds of options you can try. But the basics of doing a simple mechanical drawing are what I've shown. You can also play with things like where these locations go. And so we'll stop there. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped. See you soon.